Welcome to Fugitive TV, the very first episode. So what I'm going to do in this first episode is I'm going to break down exactly, everything I have done. Now, if you read the description right, yes, I was really on the run for 15 years from the law while living under different names, living in different countries. I did a lot. But the one thing I did do was while I was on the run, I actually turned my life around. I opened up some businesses. I went to school. I graduated and got my degree from a college. I did a lot. All that while I was on the run. Because there is a lot to tell. I mean, this is probably, oh man, there's a whole lot. And if you have any questions or anything, please leave a comment. I'll answer everybody that I can. There is a lot of details in my story that there's just so much. There's so much that I really need to just sit down and write out everything because there's so much to tell you guys. And I finally am able, I'm in a place now where I can tell you guys exactly what happened to me. So stay tuned. We're going to get into this right now. So, once again, this is episode 1, and please like, subscribe. If you want to continue hearing this, because you're not going to hear everything in this first episode right now, and I'm pretty sure you're going to have a lot of questions even when I get done after all that. And believe me, I'll answer you because it's pretty much like a real life movie that you think you're watching, and like, damn, this really happened to him. Yes, it happened to me. It really did. I don't want to glorify anything negative that I have done. I'm going to tell you about everything, but I'm not going to glorify it. I'm not here to pretty much promote that. I'm here to promote that, that you can turn your life around no matter what. Because if I can do it, you can do it, okay? So make sure you subscribe, leave comments, everything you got to do. So let me start by saying, I grew up in California, Southern California, around the Los Angeles area. We moved around a lot. I wasn't a bad kid, really. I went to school. I played football, basketball, ran track. I was pretty good. I had family members that were out on the streets, and friends of family members out in the streets, gang banging. They were doing a lot of stuff. So I was exposed to, I should say, the elements of the street. I was exposed to it. I was around it. I've seen a lot of it. But I really was never put in the position, I should say, to participate, because I had older people telling me that, hey, you need to leave, you need to go do this because you're going to be something with yourself. You're pretty smart and this is what you're going to be. So, growing up in those areas, you kind of fall into a trap. You grow up, you start, it's like, what else am I going to have nothing else to do? Luckily, I had some people around me that, told me, hey, stay away before things got too hectic. So, grew up, I was hustling even as a kid though, but it wasn't like bad hustling. I was that kid that went to the candy store. I would buy like the, I'm sorry, not the candy store, but I opened up my own candy store. Let's say, in school, I would go to like, the Dollar General. In California, you had a 99-cent store. You would go there, you would buy all the candy you can. I would go back to school and I would just hustle the candy for like $2 a piece. So I was always, I guess you would say, intelligent-wise when it came to doing things like this. Now, fast forward a little bit, finish school, high school. What am I going to do with my life? What am I going to do? Everybody gets to the age where you don't know what you're going to do, right? So what I did was I wanted to join the military. At first, I did not want to, but I was going to join the Air Force. So I moved to Colorado Springs originally to join the Air Force because there's an Air Force Academy there. I wanted to try and do everything I can to make it to the Air Force. So that was my original move and my original plan. But it did not turn out to be that way. That is where everything pretty much, how you want to say it, messed up for me in my life. Everything. So let me start by saying, when I was in Colorado Springs, I started living by myself. I had my own place. I wasn't doing that bad, still living check to check. I was doing okay. Well, I wasn't living by myself. I had to get roommates. So I had a couple roommates living with me, and you need to watch who you have around you, okay? Because one little thing in your life can change everything. And until this day, I regret having roommates in my house. So rent was due. One of my roommates, he left. He dipped. didn't know where he went. So at this time, so this is like maybe 2001-ish. They didn't have really, not everybody had cell phones at that time. A lot of people were still using pagers and two-way pagers, all right, to get a hold of people. So I had to page him constantly for days straight. Finally, he ends up calling me back and tells me, hey, I left the TV in my room. Go use that TV, sell it, whatever you have to do. So I went and grabbed the TV out of his room. It was actually a brand new TV. I went and pawned it, got a couple $100 off the TV or whatever it was, might have been $150. I don't remember. It was so long ago. I went and pawned this TV. And when I pawned that TV, you know, I was able to get a little bit of money to go back and pay my rent. Now, let me tell you, I never heard from him again. He was supposed to be my friend, roommate. Never, ever heard from him again. To this day, I don't know exactly where he is. I don't know if he's alive or anything. But never heard from this guy again. So take notes of this. So, life is all right. You know, I end up meeting a woman. We move in together. She's pregnant, actually. And I was in my maybe like 21 or something like that. I was caught up at that time of like being in the streets and having a lot of friends and partying. Pretty much, I was caught up in partying. I was wanting a party every day, every night, you know. When I should have been home, but thank God I didn't get into a lot of trouble out there when it came to that. But you know, when you're young, you make mistakes and you learn from them in the future, right? I was at a party. I leave this party. I make a U-turn. Cop pulls me over. Pulls me over because I made an illegal U-turn. Didn't know, I didn't see the sign. I give the guy my license thinking that everything is fine. I'm like, everything is good with me, man. I'm all right. So I'm sitting in my car. I see a few more cop cars come. 1, 2, 3. I see four cop cars. I'm like, what the hell? You know, never a good sign when there's 4 cop cars around you when you get pulled over. So cop comes up to me, gives me a license back, and he goes, hey, you know, there's a warrant out for your arrest on a few charges. And, you know, I'm like, what? Charges? Charges on what, you know? I started thinking about everything I did. Now, I used to get traffic tickets all the time. I was always speeding all the goddamn time, thanks to Fast and the Furious. I was always speeding. But I was like, I think I paid all my traffic tickets. So he goes, yeah, it's not traffic tickets. How about you get out, sir, and, you know, we'll explain the situation to you. So I got out. He put the handcuffs on me, and he goes, yeah, we have a warrant for burglary, theft, false information to a pawn shop. Those are the 3 I remember. I think it was 5 or 6 altogether. I don't remember. I forgot because it was so long ago. This is 2001, whatever. So, you know, this is, what, 21 years ago or something? So my bond is $10,000. So my bond is high for me at that time. So I end up sitting in jail for like 2 or 3 weeks before I bond out. Now, when I bond out, I go sit and talk with my public defender after trying to get a hold of them forever. They don't want to call me back. So finally, I go sit and talk with my public defender. Now, if you ever get in trouble in life, please try and get a private attorney, and please do your research on attorneys before you go with one. Because if I would have known better, I probably wouldn't be in this position and probably wouldn't be telling you this story right now. So my public defender goes, those charges you got, it was for a TV that was pawned almost a year ago. So I'm sitting there like, pawned? Oh, that TV I pawned, the TV from my friend gave me. So you mean a whole year later, I'm getting arrested over this TV? And she's like, yes, so you have burglary, theft, false information to a pawn shop over that TV. So did you rob the TV? No, I didn't rob this TV. She's like, okay, yeah, because they dusted fingerprints, your fingerprints don't match, da-da-da-da-da. So now I'm like, yeah, I know. I didn't know this TV was robbed out of somebody's house. So what are you talking about? So she tells me, hey, so this is what I'll do for you. I'll get all the other charges dropped. I need you to plead guilty to false information to a pawn shop. You will not go back to jail, and you'll get like 2 years unsupervised probation or a year. So I was young, I was stupid. I will go, yeah, all right, let's go with that. I'll take the false information to a pawn shop charge. Oh, well, it ain't nothing, you know, and I didn't want to go back to jail. I was like, fuck jail. I don't want to go back to jail. when I was in jail, my cellie that was in there, my very first cellmate I had, the guy was in there for double murder. The guy knocked on somebody's door, waited for them to answer, and shot through the door and killed 2 people. Had no remorse for it. He didn't even give a damn about those 2 people. He was actually in there bragging about it. I'm like, this is my first cellmate. Yeah, I ain't going back to jail. So I took the charge, right? And I'm like, all right. So I end up contacting the Air Force recruiter. Now, I was prolonging going into the Air Force because I was so busy running the streets and doing stupid shit. So I prolonged it a little bit. So this kind of woke me up. I was like, let me go to the recruiter. Recruiter's like, yeah, sorry, denied. You can't get in, buddy. Why? False information to a pawn shop is a felony in the state of Colorado. And we don't allow people with a felony. Ruined my dreams. So he goes, you might want to try the other branches or something. So I go to the Army. I go to a recruiter there. He goes, yeah, sorry, you just got convicted of a felony. You gotta wait a few years. We can't let you in and you're on probation. It doesn't work out, buddy. See you later. Now my life is ruined. I don't know what to do with myself. And this is where that one thing from that TV messed up my whole entire life. That one instant of me needing some quick money to pay my bills messed me up, and I'm still dealing with it to this day. So I want you guys to stay tuned. If you have any more questions, please leave a comment below. I'll answer the questions for you. I will be dropping episode 2 so I can continue on with the story. Like I said, the story is basically a lot, and I'm going to get into details even of how I did everything. I might even do a Q&A of how I did everything. I'm not sure, but I have to find out if I can even tell you guys a lot of stuff that I did if I'm not going to get in trouble for it still. So please follow along, and you guys subscribe. I'm going to talk to you later. Fugitive TV, we're out. Take care.